This is day 15th of seed retention. That is January the 15th. I started on January the 1st. The challenge is going to be lasting 6 months. That is 181 days. On this video, I want to talk about the experience so far, the journey, how it's been, and why I'm doing it. So to give you a backstory, so that you can understand where I'm coming from. I have been addicted to this disease. I call it a disease because it is something that eats you up and leaves you for dead. Literally, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially, socially, name it all. It literally dries up every single bit that makes a man, a great man. So for me, I was introduced to it at a very young age. Of course, unaware and out of curiosity, because when you are young, you become very, very curious. So when people are telling you to get out of the house, you want to know why they are telling you to get out of the house. Okay? So they were viewing it, and I happened to go behind, because the screen is kind of directly with the window. That is how I first saw it. That is porn. And after that, something just kind of tweaked. The curiosity became even bigger and bigger and bigger. And as the years passed by, when I was in primary school, that is when I started now touching myself like crazy. All right. It happened, and that experience, the first one was like, oh my, mind blowing. You get this boo pleasure feeling, and you're like, wow, what is that? Right. Ever since then, it's just been a downhole, a cycle. Of course, with the breaks in here and there, I don't have the perfect map right now. It is something that I have to write down. Okay, bring my thoughts collectively together, and then I can express them. But for now, no scripts. Okay, so it's been on and off. And I've suffered literally, even in school. It went on to affect my performance in school. I moved from being a high-performing student to being a mediocre, low-performing student. And no amount of recovery could ever return me back to the top, because I didn't know better. I thought this was the way human beings live. I was unaware. Ignorance to a point. I didn't know better, basically. And I was never exposed to better. And now life started becoming even more harder and harder. Just life, it felt like I was just being beaten up every single day by life. Being flogged. Almost nothing was working and going my way. Whether in school, at home, socially. I started becoming one of those people who isolate themselves from the world as a coping mechanism. So you tend to stay away from other people because you are kind of self-conscious, anxious around them. This went on for a very long time, for years. But then girlfriends, they came. So when girlfriends came in, I kind of stopped it. I did not see the need of it, because I was being, for lack of a better term, my needs were being met. But still, I was still draining myself. Because then again, I wasn't creating life. I wasn't creating baby. If I knew what I knew right now, maybe things would have been different. I don't know. But I like to think that I went through that journey for a specific reason. For me to get to where I am right now, I had to go through that. I had to learn what I had to learn in order for me to know what I know right now. So as years went by, now my consciousness kind of now started to wake up. Because now when the girlfriends, they dried up, because relationships were not even working, to be honest, to be straight up to you. Sometimes you are dating somebody, but then you're still going back to porn. Because they are not around at that particular time. You are alone and all that. So you just go for what you know best. You go for what you've been doing. But now, as I grew older and older and older, something in me just wasn't okay with what I was doing. Something was just off. That is when my awakening began. Nobody helped me out. Nobody was there to guide me. I just started tracking and noting more so my energy levels. I was lucky enough to go for a prolonged period of just locking in before now I switched the countries. Because from the point of there's a day that I just woke up. It was during the 25th. No, I think 31st. And I was having kind of a meeting, these family gatherings. And I looked at myself, looked at where I was, looked at the people who are my cousins, looked at where they are in life, and I was like, okay, hold up. I'm kind of lagging behind here. It was a wake-up call and a challenge, and a challenge. I kind of posed a challenge to myself. And that challenge was, number one, I had to move out of my parents' house. So when I locked into that, that is when my mind tended just to focus on that. I did not have even time to think about porn, gooning, and all these things. I was lagging in school. It took me a while to finish college. What would have taken me a shorter period, I ended up taking a longer period because, like I said, nothing was working out for me. Things, even if they were working out, they were moving very slow. It felt like I was just attracting bad things, bad luck. I was not lucky, so to say, because luck it is created based on your preparation and all those things. For me, I wasn't meeting those criteria of being deemed as lucky, so life was just flogging me, or rather stagnating me. So after locking in, that is when now opportunities started to come through. I finished my projects in school. All right, after that now the opportunities to fly out of the country arrived. And these and these and these, one little thing led to another, and here I am in another country. Just basically because I went through that phase. But then after switching off countries, that thing came back again. Because it felt like I had achieved what I was aiming for, which was moving out of my parents' house. I got that. But then my mind did not kind of have the next goal in place. So what did I do? I went back to coping. Things became bad. Work, things became unlucky. The unlucky thing that I was talking about came back again. Where there were opportunities for me to go up, those opportunities kind of did not go my way because I was living a lie. I was compromising myself on a deeper level. What you see is the surface, but behind that, I was just messing myself dry. I was draining myself. I was like a fruit that has juice. And when you have this juice, or what I was doing, I was just draining. So you have the fruit, yes, but it has nothing in it. There's no that juice that makes it a fruit, make it tasty, like a zombie. Yeah, when you look at a zombie, they don't have flesh. They're ugly. They're all dried up. They just that is the kind of life that I was living. Purposeless, low-driven, unmotivated, and so on. But now, 15 days in, it's back. The thing that I had locked into back then, the energy levels are starting to go up like crazy. Luck is starting to come my way. Things are kind of shaping up and I can feel it. But now, on this journey, I have noticed that I am paying a debt. So, those things that you guys hear outside there that after 6 months, it's going to be this way. After 3 months, it's going to be this way. You're going to experience all these things. After 7 days, this is what happens. 15 days, this is what happens. Those things, there is some truth to that, but there is also some information that you're not being given. It is not linear. This journey is not linear. So you cannot be told, and I cannot tell you precisely that my journey of after 7 days, after 6 days, after 15 days, this is what started happening to me. mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially. You cannot pinpoint that because it depends with what you've been doing, for how long you've been compromising yourself, and to what intensity. If the debt is higher, the slower those changes are going to come, because seed retention tends to, it is a purifying procedure. It purifies you faster. Nothing is going to purify you faster like seed retention. But the more the debt, the slower the progress. But you are still going to be making progress. I mean, my confidence levels have shot up. Energy levels are going up. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Energy levels, that is the key thing that you need to be noting when you're on this journey. That is what I've learned so far. Energy levels, they matter a lot. This is what dictates how things proceed. Oh, and one very important thing that affects energy levels is sleep. I've noticed that my sleep has massively improved on this journey. I am sleeping like a baby, like a toddler. I'm not waking up at night to go pee or just have insomnia. No, once I close my eyes, I enter into the deep state. I'm waking up fresh, more fresher than I've ever been. But of course, there's that laziness to get out of the bed, because you are imagining the warmth of the bed, the softness, it's cozy. All right, it's just comfortable. It feels good to be in bed. But then you have to picture going outside to do your burpees, to do your walk, to do the runs. You're like, oh. But then now the ability to switch on to that training mode, to switch on to that beast that needs to do what needs to be done. I'm easily finding myself that I'm turning on that beast way quicker, because I'm more aware of what is working for me, what is serving me, and what does not serve me. So even now, when I reach for my phone and I start to scroll, something is just giving me an ick. Ugh. Okay, when I know that I need to be going for the workout to do my gym session, a part of me does not want to do that, but also I'm able to see myself in that situation and make the right decision, the decision that benefits me. And in doing these, my motivation levels, they keep rising. Right now, even making this video, it's a progress. I've always wanted to be posting videos over and over on a daily basis, consistently. That was a challenge back then. This year, I haven't missed a single session. I'm talking about TikTok, because that is where I have built the largest following. These others are just bleed out of that. This has performed well. Now it is starting to bleed onto these other platforms. And I'm now able to also maneuver and manage all of them together collectively, which is a huge step. It says more about my ability to focus, my ability to just narrow down on what I want to do and executing it repeatedly over and over again. So with 15 days in, I can say it's been a challenge, because for the past 2 days, I have been tested like nobody's business. I mean, I'm getting follows from accounts that are posting porn on X, that is Twitter. And I'm like, why are you guys even following me? I don't know why. Are you trying, have you been sent? Why are you here? Anyway, I'm doing the needful, just block. It has to be done. I cannot afford to be lenient on this journey, because leniency, from my experience, has done nothing but land me in trouble in places that I don't want to be in. I have been soft before. I have tolerated things that I knew were bad because I was like, okay, leniency. But then it comes back and bites me and grabs me by the throat, so I cannot afford to do that. So anything that I don't like, that I find it is provoking me in a sexual way, I've got to do just not interested, blocked, not interested, blocked. On all the platforms, all of them, mostly TikTok and X. In the meantime, I will be speaking to you again very soon. Have a blessed, lovely evening. It's 8:15. I've got to start shutting down. And one of the best things that I've also managed to implement in my life when it comes to shutting down is meditation. It tends to put me to bed very, very well, and also just clear up all that pressure for the day, the stress of the day, so that I can now go to bed easily and in a much better fashion and way, preparing for tomorrow. I'll see you in a bit.